everybody? Jay once again for the G.B.B. I'm joined by Shan. Shans, what up?
Man.
Back at it again, boy. Guys, Manchester United versus Southampton this weekend. Very big game. Southampton are obviously a bigger prospect than those that we've had in recent weeks. And they're obviously a team with a lot of talent. We've got to obviously be wary because whenever we talk about teams that are lower in the table than Manchester United, we know what the likelihood of the result could be. So, in that being said, Chans, Southampton, big prospect, small prospect. What do you think?
Southampton are one of those teams that they could beat a big team on a day and they could lose to anybody. So
That's not like Manchester United then.
At the moment, yes, but I still think we can win. That being said, Charlie Austin can pop off a goal every now and then, so we're going to have to watch out for him. And some of their midfield, but that's a team that's been stripped back of their stars for the past 3 years running. So if we structure up well to them, we can definitely win, but we need to be cautious.
Yeah, I agree. I think for us, it's going to be all about the personnel changes that we have now. Obviously, the game against Young Boys, we had 6 changes from the previous game. But how we're going to fare in this one, obviously, given all the injuries that we have, Lindelof is likely still going to be out. Lukaku's obviously not 100%. Pogba as well is not 100%. But we're going to have to call on these guys to try and get, obviously, a result. I think Phil Jones, and you'll be surprised to hear me say it, but I think Phil Jones will obviously get a start alongside Smalling. Whoever plays at that right back position, Valencia obviously pulled up with an injury in the last game, so he might not feature, which means that possibly Delo could come in, or if Shaw's obviously served his suspension, so he could be back for the Premier League as well. There could be a few changes, there could be a few rotations. One that I think definitely should happen is Matic should get a rest. Because I think Matic was very, very poor in the last couple of games. And the fact that he came straight back in after having his surgery is showing. And we can't just keep relying on him even when he doesn't produce a performance. It's been an ongoing thing for Manchester United where we only have those particular options. Yes, we spend big money on players, but whether they're injured or whether they're on form, we pretty much just force them into playing week after week after week after week. I think Mourinho's sort of bucking the trend by dropping Lukaku because obviously his form warranted him to be dropped. But for Mourinho to actually take it on and go, yes, he should be dropped and making that decision, I think he needs to make that same decision about Matic. Do you think, Shans, that our team structure, players is going to be more crucial than the threat that Southampton present? Or do you think it's just going to come down to whoever shows up on the day?
Well, it's a mixture of both. If our centre-backs show up on the day, we'll be just fine. As long as we've got De Gea in goal, if the guys in front of him do the job they're required to do, we will hold out any team. That being said, too often are they not doing that. So it's really 50-50. I mean, this is as 50-50 a game as could be for us. We've been winning, losing in the past few games, so it could go either way. But as long as we seal out their attacks and just keep pressing and catch them on the counter, we'll get the win.
Yeah, I think so as well. And you mentioned a few weeks ago, Shans, our defense has been pretty strong. Yes, we've got David De Gea as well. The problem that we have is no goals. We're not scoring enough goals. We're not scoring goals in some games at all, like the Crystal Palace game. All we needed was 1 goal to get the win. But we couldn't produce that. So I think as critical as we've been about the defensive line and our midfield, it's also our attackers that we need to see some product from. As a forward, you're only judged on your goals, really. As a defender, you're judged on your passing, your distribution, your ability to make a tackle, your standing tackles, your aerial deals and things like that. But for the forwards, they only get judged on one thing: putting the ball in the back of the net. We spend big money on, Lukaku to get that result out of him. And, this period has been a very big lull. It's sad to say, but we might need to, once the transfer window opens, we might need to bring in another striker. Yes, we've got Rashford, and I understand that, and Martial as an option. But I think we don't play them to their best strengths. So that being said, and Rashford only getting an opportunity when Lukaku is injured, A, or B, is dropped, I think he pretty much needs to be either first choice over Lukaku, given Lukaku's form at the moment. I'm not saying that he's a better striker than Lukaku, but with Lukaku's lulling form at the moment, he needs to be first choice and he needs to be starting at the top constantly. Mourinho keeps switching it up and maybe putting Sanchez up the top, or Martial up the top, or Rashford up the top. I think it needs to be default as Rashford as our leading striker, Martial cutting in off the left. We need to be trying Sanchez off the right-hand side, or I've got an extreme theory. Why don't, with the ability of Lukaku's crossing, why not play him on the right-hand side? We play a 3-forward attack, Martial on the left, Rashford through the middle, and Lukaku on the right when he's not working, or play Lukaku in the middle and they just let them change places, interchange, swap over, just to keep the defense guessing. And when we come up against teams that look at Lukaku and know exactly what we're going to do, they're starting to figure it out when we use Marouane Fellaini as well. They know that the ball's coming in high. They know Marouane Fellaini is a one to mark. Yes, Lukaku's been getting on the end of quite a few headers. Rashford had a couple of opportunities, obviously, against young boys. We're presenting more of a threat, but we need to switch it up and we need to keep these teams we're playing guessing. Shan, in closing, anything else that you pretty much want to add about the game?
Yes, in terms of Lukaku, we've been talking about him for some weeks, trying to hold him accountable for this dip in form. It's come ever since Mourinho's assistant left the club.
Yes.
So whether in the background he's not getting the love and support and the sort of individual training or whatever the case may be, that needs to change at that point. Even if you were to give it to an unofficial interim or just have a striking coach come in and just sit him down, talk to him, get him backfiring on point. Because like you say, he gets on the end of most crosses, gets a header on it, but it's always wayward. Yeah. That waywardness needs to come down.
I think you hit the nail on the head there, because a big part of why United aren't functioning the way that we should is because of all the lack of solidity in positions within the club. We don't have a director of football at the moment. Yes, Mourinho's had a change of staff, and when we talk about him not having that assistant anymore, we're not just saying it's an assistant that he's had within the last year or two or while he's been at Manchester United. The two of them have been coaching together as long as Mourinho has been a senior coach. So to lose someone so critical to his coaching staff and his way of coaching is why we're seeing such a decay in Mourinho's connection to the players and connection to the game the way that it is at the moment. Football's evolving. Yes, the two of them together were a formidable, managerial partnership, but having that change, which he's never had in his career, he's never had another second in charge since he's birthed into senior management. So we are seeing side effects of that. Obviously now with Carrick and McKenna being his background staff, Carrick obviously being first year coach, a first year assistant, in the background, there's going to be a bit of that transition period from him going from a player to being, a coach and an assistant to Mourinho. So there is going to be a bit of disconnect between Mourinho and the players, because a lot of people don't understand that Mourinho doesn't coach every single aspect of the team. He's the team manager, so he manages the players and the personnel for, your match days, but the day-to-day and week-to-week training of the players gets done by the assistants. So that's a very big change in the background, and a lot of the times we'll say it as well. Mourinho's sort of lost the players and things like that. There is a disconnect and there is now a gap between where he usually sits and the players, because he used to have a more experienced buffer in between that was used to, conveying messages and conveying tactics and formation and, requirements of players. That has fallen away. So we are seeing a development in the way that Mourinho was coaching because of losing that key piece in the structure of the way that he coaches a club. So that's something very in-depth that people need to know, that there has been a major change. So why we're not seeing the Mourinho of the past is because of that. What we do need to do, and what you said, Shan, hits nail on the head. Lukaku needs a striking coach to be with him, to give him an understanding of what he needs to do. We know that Lukaku can score goals. That's not the thing. But it's when you go into a slump of form and you need someone to give you a different perspective and a different way of thinking to be able to get a result, you do need someone that's done it before, been through that, and has come out the other end. I think within the club, within Manchester United structure, we've got such a person. Dwight York is an ambassador for the club, and he's one of the legends of this club in, goal scoring and all the rest that he's done for the club. So I think we need to get him to have one-on-ones with the strikers, with Rashford, with Martial, with Lukaku, and get them working on different tactics. Because obviously Lukaku's mindset is what's broken at the moment. His ability to score is still there, but I think he's lacking confidence at the moment, and when you're not scoring goals, it festers in your mind. And you get the yips, and you're not able to do what you naturally would do on instinct because you've got that block. So I think Dwight York would be the perfect person. I think Eric Cantona, who's, always around the club or doing things, and, he loves United. If he can get in his ear and just give him a few pointers and tips, that would be fantastic, and I really think that'll help Lukaku. Whether that's happening at the moment, we don't know. He's probably getting those, having those conversations and things like that. But it'd be fantastic to know that he's definitely looking into that and talking to guys like these legends of the club that know the pressure of playing for Manchester United and getting a result. Off that tangent, guys, Shan and I have done our predict the 11s, our starting teams. We've done our predictions on FIFA. You see them popping up on the side of the screen and at the bottom. And in the top right-hand corner, you'll see the current ladder. Still leading, not by much. Shans, you're a dangerous man. A mongoose backed into a corner is a dangerous creature. So, guys, thanks for watching. Please comment, subscribe, like, share, follow, do all that stuff. Check us out on all our social media platforms. Shans, thanks for joining me on this one. Appreciate it. Guys, we look forward to the game, and hopefully Manchester United can get the 3 points because we really, really need it. Guys, thanks for joining us. Shot.